fiction, science fiction, horror, fantasy, crime, LGBT, thriller.
You have now entered the House of Mystery.
Welcome back into the House of Mystery. I'm Al Warren, and we got Diamond Dave Martino all the way from Boston.
Boston, yes.
Boston. So I was just talking about that. We mentioned it on another show, but I know it'll get cut. But this show it won't get cut because it's going to be a dirty show. But because Dave, you never saw, I can't believe you didn't watch this in the Olympics, that guy that pulled jumper and his big wiener knocked the pole off and he lost. He could have had the gold. My God. And now he's known as the biggest dick in the world, probably. He's going to have no problem getting dates. Dave, you should do that. Why don't you do that? I was thinking if you did that, think of all the dates you'd get.
Yeah. Well, I'm happily married, Al.
Yeah, but it's nice to have them all following you and sending you messages, send the pictures and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not as well endowed.
Boy, you don't have to. Just put a big sock in there, and they don't need to know.
Yeah, that's
you don't
true.
have to show them a real thing. I know that's what our guest does. You know, the guest we have today, he does that all the time. He's always got like a shoe or a sock or something in there. You know, because I can tell because it's always big and it's a different size each time. I mean, enormously a different size. It's never just he's probably quite a few parts. I don't know. Probably should do that for a living. Maybe he does that on the side. You know, sells those things anyway. Well, he's got another book out. Oh, well, I know. I'm hoping one day to actually see what it looks like, but I don't. Anyway, doesn't matter. At this age, I give up hoping. The book, Fork Social Media and the Algorithm It Rode In On, Jailbird Stories. And of course, it's Sudi, Rick, Karatas. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I don't know after that.
You're still here. You're still here. Yeah. That was before the last interview.
For a minute, I thought you had another guest coming on. I was like, who's he talking about?
No,
he almost left.
Yeah, no, we did. No, we did have another guest, but the poor girl, I think it shook her. Because we had that as an opening, and I said, well, I'll remove it, so don't worry about it. But mind you, she was writing children's books, so I guess I should have known better. I don't know. I lost my head for a minute. So what's going on with it? So, yeah, I'm in it. So, Rick, what's been going on with you? Like, it's been a while.
Been a little while. I've still been writing. I'm always writing stuff. I think since the last time we spoke, I had a music video I shot, and it won a couple awards in New York and California. A Christmas video, All I Want for Christmas Is You Gone.
So when you do that, like when you're writing, it just comes out of the blue and you just sort of do it? Is that the idea?
I'll get ideas all over the place, and just depending. Well, for the new book, it was because I was having so many issues with Facebook, and it was getting out of control, and I realized other people were having similar issues. So I said, you know what? I'm going to write a book and expose them and the absurdity of what they're doing. But sometimes for songs or scripts or whatever, I get too many ideas, to be honest, and then I just go with the one that seems to be going. There's something more going on with that. So this book in particular, I felt like I just needed to write it and get it out. Even though I have other projects, I'm like, well, I really should be doing that project more. But I can only do one thing at a time, people. Like, even though I'm a Gemini, I should be able to do two things at a time. But
well, at your age,
there you go.
I mean, you got to slow it down a little. I understand that. So what was the point of this? Like, what you were having problems with Facebook, and you started getting ideas, and you started writing about. I mean, because I guess a lot of people get thrown in Facebook jail or get in trouble for strangest things.
Yeah.
Sometimes is that kind of the
what happened was, and it's frustrating because it wasn't because of things I was actually should have been banned or restricted for, and that's what happens to a lot of people. So it's one thing if you go against the community standards of Facebook, and if people don't know what Facebook jail is, it's basically if you get banned or restricted on Facebook, where you can't post, you can't comment. Sometimes it's 1 day, sometimes it's 30 days. Sometimes they've gotten a little better lately where they just take your post down. But before, and even though there's no reason to take it down, so it's still annoying, and sometimes they take whole pages down. But, for me, what happened was The main one was I wrote "stick a fork in him, he's done," meaning his career was over. I posted that, and the algorithm thought I was, promoting violence because I was literally going to stick a fork in someone. Like, it doesn't realize, oh, that's just an expression. So that's partly why I got the title, Fork, Social Media, and the other reason is to not use the other F word. But so I couldn't, post up for 30 days, and you can't get a live person, like it's just an algorithm, so you can't even clear up something where a person would say, oh, that's what that means. Or, somebody wrote, different, I realized a lot of people are having these issues. They were being banned, restricted, and there was a whole term, Facebook jail, that came out of that. There were pages on Facebook called Facebook jail groups and stuff. That's how popular it got. But, somebody saw a spider in their house, so they said, we have to burn the house down now. So they were, they were arrested, not arrested, but, quote unquote, for, jail for 30 days for promoting violence. I told someone, go jump in the Hudson River, a friend, as a joke. Nobody complained. No one was insulted, but it said I was promoting suicide. So meanwhile, I was joking about the Hudson River being polluted, I think, or something. But, I didn't say jump off a bridge, which, okay, you might think that says, look, commit suicide. But it was just so out of control that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write a book. And I just ask people, every time I saw somebody post on Facebook, they were in Facebook jail. I said, hey, do you want to be in a book? Send me your story. And I gave out surveys and stuff. So I collected, and I have a sense of humor. I like to look at things with a sense of humor. And there's a lot of funny stories in it, how ridiculous some of these were. Someone was joking about, I'm going to find out how old you are. I'm going to slice you open and count the rings the way you would do with a tree. But the algorithm doesn't know you do that with a tree, so the algorithm thinks you're literally going to slice somebody open, so you're promoting violence. But yeah, I just collected a lot. But there's some serious stuff where people's whole pages are taken down, where they don't, all their friends, their family, their pictures, gone. And you can't get that back.
I think the biggest problem, with Facebook is because you don't really have anybody to work with. It's just all computerized. So, yeah, you can't, I know I used to send pictures of, that really nice bare bum that said happy birthday on it, to people every time they had their birthday. And the last time I did it, they did a 30-day hold on me, right? And I even appealed it, and they said absolutely not.
Oh, appeals rarely.
Yeah. But, well, so I'm thinking, well, I've done that for years, and now all of a sudden it's against standards, and so now I just don't anymore. I'm just old crotchety.
You could have been in the Porn to Be Wild chapter. That's about the people that again, sometimes it's legitimate. They really are showing naked stuff, but some of the things aren't naked. They're not nudity. They're not, and the algorithm thinks it is. But a normal person could look at it and say, no, it's not. And, so people are, it's affecting people's livelihoods, their businesses. There's a couple of tribute acts that, I mentioned in there because they're trying to perform and they have permission to perform as whatever the celebrity is. One is Dolly Parton, that's Kelly O'Brien in the UK, and they kept taking her page down, and so she's not able to post when she's going to be, performing and stuff. I'm a coordinator for NSAI, which is Nashville Songwriters Association, Inc., and I couldn't even post when our next songwriting workshop was coming up because all my pages were banned, not just the one page that they had a problem with, so it's really, it was very frustrating. Like I said, I think they've gotten a little better, but
why were they doing that to that page? Because it's just a singer. Like what's?
Oh, for the singer's page, because the algorithm thinks they're impersonating someone else and they're scamming, because there are people on there that are pretending to be certain celebrities and then scamming people.
Right.
And they don't seem to get those people. Those people run wild. They're all over the places. There's a bunch of Tanya Tucker ones, who's a country singer, and I'm on a page for Tanya Tucker, and the woman Shirley Rule has to keep talking about, telling people, no, these are scammers. This isn't real. That's not really Tanya Tucker. There's, I think, a woman that does Celine Dion that gets, again, because they think the algorithm just keeps shutting the page down, thinking it's a fake celebrity post. Meanwhile, I've reported several fake ones and nothing ever happens. Real fake ones. I guess that's an oxymoron, isn't it? Real fake ones.
Real fake.
So yeah, it's really so frustrating.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. I know I get them all the time, and like I got one from SpaceX, Mr. Elon Musk, and
I was trying to think what that is for a second.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, that's real. But I guess people fall for it.
Oh, the woman I forgot, Kerry Carlton Sr. does the Celine Dion tribute act, and she keeps getting her page shut down. And they pay money to promote their pages on Facebook. So Facebook was taking their money and then shutting down their pages. Like, anyway. So I have all their stories in here. They're kind of fun. Yeah,
it's really sad it's that way. What was the there must have been one that really shocked you, that even you, the wild man that you are, that you were like, what? Really? Oh no. I mean, is there something that surprised you?
Well, in a way, at some point it didn't surprise me, just because when I was posting stuff, I had to say, okay, wait, is what I'm saying going to be taken out of context? Is it going to misunderstand? And I love to make jokes, so now I'm like second guessing myself. Are they going to take this wrong or that wrong? So I'm trying to think of ones that, in other words, even ones that were so innocent. There was a guy about shoot first, ask questions later, and it was about shooting a pig or something, because pig. They don't like the word pig. You can't say men are pigs or anyone even if you're a man, and obviously you're joking, and sometimes there's typos. Like somebody wrote, say no, they were trying to say no to tyranny, but it autocorrect, say no to trannies, so they got banned. So that wasn't their fault. So nothing surprised you. Asked me if any of them surprised me. In a way, no. There was a funny one too. A guy, Joseph R. Nunwheeler, he posted a picture he saw on Facebook of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders dressed in the blue Handmaid's Tales gowns, and the meme said the new cowboy cheerleaders outfits. And somebody reported it as offensive and false, and it was removed. And it was supposedly, against their Facebook nudity and sexuality standards. So that person obviously doesn't watch Handmaid's Tale, didn't get the sarcasm of it. Yeah, the algorithm doesn't understand sarcasm at all.
Right.
Or sarcasm, I guess. Yeah. But I wrote, the algorithm is the Aunt Lydia of Facebook. Anyone that doesn't get that reference, watch the show. Do you guys watch that show, The Handmaid's Tale, or no?
Oh, I did. I watched 2 seasons, I think, of it. But I know the book, right? Atwood, and I know the story. So a couple seasons was enough.
Well,
it's depressing.
It's almost a reality show now. It's like not even
it's too close to reality, and it's so depressing, right? And it's like, I don't know, makes me feel down. So I don't want to. I'd rather think of the Olympics.
Yeah. You were talking about that before.
Yeah, I like the pole jumpers.
Yeah, talk about getting really excited about one's job. That guy was like,
yeah. Oh, unreal. Poor guy. He'll probably.
I bet if you posted that picture of the pole and his pole on Facebook, they would remove that for pornography.
Well, I've seen it done by others. I can't post news because mine's based out of Canada, and Canada outlawed that. Hey, we can't post news, so no fake news. We got to leave that for TikTok.
Right.
So is this just for Facebook? You didn't do any of the other?
Well, I mean, it's I don't call it. I call it for social media for a couple of reasons. I didn't want to say Facebook, but it's Facebook. Some Instagram also. There's some Instagram stories on there. Of course, they're owned by the same company, Meta. But so I think it's mostly Facebook, Instagram, because I don't think you get. Again, I'm not really on X, or it used to be, what was it? It used to be Twitter, right? And
Twitter,
I really was never on that too much, but then I kind of got off that anyway. I never officially got off it. I just rarely go.
You got off on Twitter?
Please.
Well, I know you kind of answered it, but I was wondering if you found that there were any better social media sites to post things on that you're not getting banned
Well,
from.
it's funny. Actually, there was a few that I had looked up. If people are having all these issues with Facebook, and it seems like it's a monopoly, or I talk about that in the book too. It is kind of a monopoly because it's, most people use that one. And there's actually 7 or 8 or 9 other social media platforms, but they just haven't taken off like Facebook has. And you don't really get any traction on those. And I started to include some of those in the book, but it seems senseless because it seems like they're going to be gone within a week anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because because for the show I post Hive, Mastodon, I do Tribal, Rumble, Spoutable, Threads, Blue Sky, X, of course, and then there's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's what I have.
Yeah.
You're right. But they're not near the same. I mean, the following is You have like 800 people or something like that, and they're not. But I'll tell you what, because I post the same joke one, let's say like that the guy giving you a happy birthday or something like that, right? And nobody, not even Instagram, I can post it on Facebook and it automatically posts it on Instagram and Threads, right?
Right.
They won't ban me or take it down, but Facebook will, even though it's the same company, it's the same post. That's what's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. And I wish some of them would become more popular, or just so we could, or I wish MySpace would come back.
Yeah, it would be nice. TikTok seems to be the only other one that's really taking off. That's got a lot of people on it, but
Right.
but they're starting to ban too now.
Yep.
And take down. I've noticed just people keep losing their page or losing.
And there are, if there's a good reason to take someone, if they really are doing something that's dangerous or whatever, that's one thing. It's their intentions. I would like to think are good, but.
Yeah, I know.
I had problems with TikTok.
Yeah, he's violent, but he's
I was doing Filipino martial arts with a training knife that's not sharp, but they said I was promoting violence.
Yeah. Well, just him moving around in shorts, that's
That's promoting violence right there.
Well, no, but it's funny because you do that. I know your posts, I'll see them on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, and they never take you down, do they? Or
Yeah, I never had a problem with Facebook or YouTube so far.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, isn't that weird?
I think once you have one problem, I think they really kind of, what's the word?
Conspire?
They really look. Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? English is my 28th language. Hold on. When they're targeting you more. That's target.
Yeah.
I think the word was target. But it's funny. It's with the violence. You're afraid to say break a leg if you're to another actor, or let's shoot the breeze because you're shooting. I mean, it's just out of control. It's like, anything I say might be misconstrued.
Yeah. I just don't say anything anymore. I post by jokes and then the show and then books and stuff like that. And that's it. I know the last time I got in trouble, like I said, there was that happy birthday, and then there's the other one where I shared someone's. Oh, no, that was a different story. But I shared someone else's post, and I kind of got a lot of people mad at me. But
that's the other thing. Someone will post something, they don't end up in jail. You share their post, and you end up in jail for sharing the same exact post that theirs was fine.
Yeah, it's just the way it hits, I guess, or whatever computer comes across and stuff like that. Have you ever fought any of the? You never won any appeals then, or?
I haven't, and most people haven't. Every once in a while, I think there's one or two in there that, and still don't know how they did, and they probably don't know how either, because you can't get through to a live person. You can appeal it, but it even says on the thing, we're only going to look at a few of these, and a lot of times it's still an algorithm looking at it, and I at some point maybe it gets to a human, but I think mostly it doesn't, because you get an answer right back a lot of times. Oh yeah, it's not appeal. You lost the appeal.
I know every one that I got on TikTok that I appealed, I won.
Oh, okay.
They're really easy because it'll be those stupid joke ones and it gets taken down. I'll appeal it and then it just puts it back up and I never hear about it again. So Facebook kind of mixed.
Yeah, there is a chapter that tells you how to trick the algorithm a little bit, like you can use signs instead of the words and a few other things. But they get onto you after that, after a while also.
So what are you gonna do? It's just what else is in the book? So you're giving people advice on what they can do.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of people's stories in it of why they got banned or restricted. So some of them are funny stories or whatever. And some of it is some of the rules that they're trying to, like the community standards of what they're trying to do. There's, but a lot of it's just stories from different people. Actually, there's some people that I joke, they put Facebook in jail. They closed their own account just because they were tired of Facebook. And one of those people was Stella Parton, who was a singer, actress. She's Dolly's sister, but she's done a lot of stuff on her own and been in a lot of films and stuff. But she took her page down because she just was tired of all the bullying people were doing and just how Facebook wasn't. And she actually just recently came back on again because her fans wanted her to, and so that was good. But yeah, there's other people. There's another author, Blake Allwood. I think you might know him. Yeah, so he's in the book. A couple of his stories of when he got banned and stuff too.
He's a dirty boy, so.
Well, so you have read his books. And yeah, so a lot of interesting people I really got stories from, and then I give my own little author thoughts about each, people's stories and why they were taken down. And but it's kind of, I joke, everyone on social media needs to read this book. But
so it's just a lighthearted, fun thing.
oh, it's very lighthearted. It's not going to save lives or anything. But it does point out, I think part of it points out the absurdity of Facebook, but how it also was damaging some people because, like during the pandemic and other things, if they're banned for 30 days, during the pandemic you couldn't go anywhere, and they were relying on social media to keep in touch with people and all that, or just loneliness or whatever. And it really affected a lot of people that way. And or if their whole page has been taken down, that's very harmful to them. So there is a little bit, it's very lighthearted for the most part, and I always like to use humor. There's a lot of stories in that because people have become so frustrated.
Well, what is it that you do that would actually take down your whole page? Like I've been, banned for 30 days, or I've had like one of those where you can't share in groups for a week, all sorts of little things, but never had my Facebook page taken down or threatened to. So what is it that someone does?
Well, sometimes people don't even get a reason, but I guess a legitimate reason would be if you're hacking or doing something like that. So I think these people aren't, but maybe they've been falsely accused of that, or they've had so many bans that, although I know people have had it's like a badge of honor. They've had like 30 or 40 bans. So I don't know what limit there is where they would just take a page down. But I honestly think most people who had their pages, I think one woman, she was really nice. She's an author, the reading corner, Robin Colucci. They had taken her whole page down, and I think she couldn't figure out. She kept trying to find out and calling the company. You can't call anyone. You can't get through to someone. She thinks she had something, I think, with not China, but another, maybe Taiwan. And she had a group for her business, and most of them were in China, and I guess a new one was from Taiwan. So they asked her if one was, I think it was a misunderstanding or something that clearly they could have just cleared up very easily. But no, they just took down her whole page. But several people, this other guy too, they had taken down. They said it was, again, all it says is you went against our standards, but it doesn't say what you did or even what post did that. And half the times when you do figure out which post, it's like, wait a minute, that's not even what that means.
You can buy for $100 a year, can't you get like the blue check mark, and you kind of get, I forget what you call it.
Maybe, and I have a feeling if you do that, some people have that blue check mark, but those are, there's like fake accounts, hackers. Well, if it's a fake account, it would be taken. So they might think it's a fake account, maybe, I don't know. But again, I've seen fake accounts, I've reported them, and we found nothing wrong with this account. I'm like, are you kidding me? And, so.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? Because you'd have nobody live to talk to ever.
Right, ever.
And so then, yeah, you can lose the whole thing. But I've never had that threat. I think for me, the biggest thing is sometimes I'm kind of, I guess I'm a little bit adult content sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes. Well, yeah, I guess, so maybe, but why not just unfollow someone if you don't like that content? I get people that drop me,
Well, that's the thing. It's not even people complaining about the content. It's the algorithm. Like, that's one thing. And sometimes that happens. Someone complains and they'll tell you, that's the thing. If they would just say, hey, this is offending someone, take it down. They wouldn't even doing that. They would just put you in jail. It wasn't even like they gave you a warning. Some people got little warnings, and now they do it a lot more. They actually take your post down. They don't put you in jail. They don't ban you. They just said your post has been removed. They started doing that in the last month or two. I think they heard my book was coming out. So
yeah, they knew. They're watching you. Pretty soon you'll be off all social media. They'll just get rid of you. But I guess now their intention of doing this, because remember in the old Wild West days when Facebook, years ago, 10 years ago, you could post almost anything,
yeah.
Right? I mean, they were posting everything, and then I guess it was stuff that was against politics, like saying Hillary Clinton's cooking babies on pizzas, and they started going, okay, we're going to take that down, and then
right, because it's not true and it's dangerous and it might incite someone to violence and blah blah. So that's a good thing. I think their intentions were good, and with certain things, and
now it's
if they can get some of that taken, clean that up, that's great. But when you're removing people who didn't post a nude photo and saying they did, that's not stopping the problem.
I think maybe if they had some sort of way of verifying accounts rather than, because right now there's a lot of bot accounts, right, that put out all sorts of information, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of bots in general, and I have a chapter where, I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, you get somebody say, I saw your profile, you seem really interesting, you're very handsome, I want us to be friends, I tried to send a request, and the English is really bad, and it's so worded. Have you gotten those?
Oh, yeah. And then I always answer, and I always pick one of the co-hosts and say, I'm busy, but maybe, and then I'll tag Dave North Martino.
He sends them all to me.
Yeah, and I said he'd love to hear from you, right? So he gets tagged in it.
Oh, that's fine. But I'll answer them too, but with the, like, really snarky or like fake answers, and I put those in the book. Like, there's a chapter where I'm having these conversations with these bots that make no sense, and but they're funny because I'm a wise ass. So that's kind of just a fun.
What do those bots want? Like, what do they? What is it? Because it's not a real woman that's trying to get a boyfriend. So what is it? What is it?
I don't know. Maybe some of your information. Maybe they're hoping you're going to friend them. You're going to start connecting and talking, and then maybe they're going to ask you for money, or they're going to this or that. I don't know. Or they're going to, or somehow hack your account or something. They're after something. They're not as much as I like to think I have a great body, I know they're not after my body.
Well, dad bod. Right?
No, but and they're getting worse, it feels like, and more of them.
I'm getting guy ones too. Do it a lot.
Yeah.
I get a lot of guys.
But it's so easy to, like, well, no, it's not easy for some people to really I don't think some people realize it. Because somebody once posted on my thing, when I was responding back to this person with ridiculous answers, and someone said, you two are so funny. I'm like, it's only me. This other person's not a real person. It's a bot. But again, those people seem to run free and don't get arrested, and the other people end up in Facebook jail.
So why do you think that is? Is that you think that they're paying for their accounts, or like
no?
Why do they let these bots go on? Like, what's the advantage for Facebook?
I think because the way they set it up, the algorithm, they know how to, I guess, sneak by it. Where again, if a real person looked at that profile, they would immediately see that's a fake profile. But when you go to report it, even it doesn't even give you it gives you certain reasons what's wrong with that page. Sometimes it doesn't have the answer of what specifically says is wrong with the page. So when you submit that, what you're saying yes to is not, they might look at that and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. It's just, they really need to do something.
Yeah, because that J.P. Jackson, that's an author, he lives up close to me. And all of a sudden I got another friend request from another J.P. Jackson.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's crazy. So I sent him a message. It's got his picture and everything. And then he's like, oh, can you report it?
Yeah.
And so I reported it. He's pretending to be someone else who was pretending, and I picked J.P. Jackson and all that stuff.
Right.
And then they send me back this thing, a day later. We didn't remove the profile. So they decided to keep it up. It's because they didn't go against community standards. And it's like, well...
It's a fake account, though.
It's a fake account. Yeah. They even took his picture, copied it, and posted it as their picture. Right. Isn't that something wrong?
Yes, they should be taken down. They're not. That's what I mean. It's totally not. They need a new sheriff. They need a new chief of police.
Yeah, and I sent it to him, and he's, oh, yay, Facebook. Like, they just don't care. Like,
nope. They're like shingles. They're like shingles. They just don't care.
And there's no vaccine for it.
There's no vaccine. No vaccine for Facebook jail. Yeah, it's just...
Well, so what's your favorite story in the book?
Well, I think the Dolly Parton tribute act, just because I love Dolly Parton, and she seems really nice, and I felt bad that they kept shutting her down. Anytime I can mention Dolly Parton, I can't. I love to. That was one of them, I think. That was Kelly O'Brien in the UK. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, a lot of them are just little short stories. There are paragraphs in it. Oh, the three little pigs. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Oh, so blow could be in the sexual, it could be the pornography one, or it could be the violence one.
Or it could be cocaine too, right? Blow, snort, hort, Dave, isn't blow cocaine or something?
Yeah. Oh, that too. Oh, that's right. So it's 3 drugs, violence, and sex.
Boy.
That word blow is just multifaceted.
Yeah.
I also had a story from Patrick Simpson in there, which is kind of cool because he does a show Down and Out in Beverly Hills with his husband Paula too, and Undressed. They do a show called Undressed with Paul and Patrick. But he had a nice story in there where he designed a wedding gown for Sheena Shea from Vanderpump Rules, and he was joking, like he said something they didn't want to show the picture yet until it was going to be known or something. So he joked, I would tell you, but I'd have to kill you. Again, he's just kidding. Like,
right, yeah.
Say that. I'd tell you, but I have to kill you, like in those James Bond movies. No, but he was banned And it's just, yeah. So it was cool to have him in the book. And I did like a book launch a couple months ago, and he was one of my guests when we did that. Yeah, there's a lot of just...
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all crazy. So listen, the book, it's out now. They can get it anywhere. And what's your social media and website so people can find you? OnlyFans? Anything like that?
No, I don't have an OnlyFans. I would have to call it OnlyFan. Like, I'd probably have one.
I'd pay.
Yeah. The book is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but I have my YouTube page is Sudi Karatas, S-U-D-I, and then K-A-R-A-T-A-S. Instagram is Sudi Rick, S-U-D-I-R-I-C-K. Facebook, hopefully I'll still be on there a little bit longer before they find out about my book and shut me down. That's under Sudi Rick Karatas. So S-U-D-I and then R-I-C-K and then K-A-R-A-T-A-S. My legal name is Sudi, but that's too common, so I go by Rick. No. Gemini, so I have two names. But what else?
Well, you're running from the law. Right?
So I think there's a Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I'm on, I guess, LinkedIn, but I never go on there.
No,
I'm more like linked out. I'm never in LinkedIn.
It's not a connection one anyway, really.
Yeah.
And website, did you give that?
Oh, www.sudirick.com. So sudirick.com. I'm on Threads too. I do that a little bit. Yeah, but if you put S-U-D-I, Sudi, a lot of times you'll probably only get 6 or 7 total people that pop up.
Yeah, and they're all you.
There are a few more Sudis. I didn't meet another Sudi till I was like 35 years old. Like I was bartending a party and someone goes, "How you doing, Sudi?" I'm like, and he wasn't talking to me. I go, "What'd you say?" He goes, "How you doing to Sudi?" I say, "Who?" I that guy. I go, "That's my name," and I've never met another one ever before.
Oh, geez. And you're on your geez, that must have been what, 1970?
1948.
That's what I thought. Well, it's been a pleasure as always, and of course we're going to, your book, Fork Social Media and Algorithmic Road In On. Of course, it's Sudi Rick Karatas. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sudi.
This has been a production of the House of Mystery Radio Show. To find out more about our show, guests, or hosts, go to our website at houseofmysteryradio.com.